Welcome in to the latest episode of the Betting Pitch Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, the real underscore G Warner. We're trying to do this without the use of Zoom. Let's see how that goes in this episode. Thank you for tuning in. If you're not subscribed, hit the follow button at the real underscore G Warner across YouTube. We got 3 more subscribers. We're up to 268, long way away from any sort of advertisements. So good luck on that to me. Still got a long way to go there, but thank you for the support at the real underscore G Warner on Instagram. If you want the real 30-second or so version summarizing the ultimate best bet coming end of show. You can also find that on the YouTube Shorts section at the real underscore G Warner on YouTube. And then, of course, if you want the full podcast on Betting the Pitch on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, hit that. And if you want more access, a way to download an application and get a notification every time I lock in a play, might have helped after a really good hockey night tonight on Friday, the 24th of April. Hit up patreon.com/real_G Warner, and you can find all my plays, leans, write-ups every night, every morning, all day throughout the day, and get as much access as you could possibly ever desire, want, all those sort of things. Anyway, I'm the real_G Warner across all social media platforms, and we're going through England, Spain, Italy, France, and Germany on tonight's episode. It is late night with the real_G Warner, so wait and just get ready for the yawns to begin. But let's begin where the money is, and we'll start in the English Premier League. We'll start with today is what it says as we're recording this. Almost 1 a.m., so about 5.5 hours till kickoff. We have Fulham, a pick'em at home to Aston Villa. Juice is minus 108 both ways right now as we speak. In terms of where this number has moved since I've been following it, as BetOnline does put out lines usually fairly ahead of time for the Premier League, Spain as well, most of the time, sometimes Serie A as well, German Bundesliga, sometimes French Liga, almost never. But there's some extra content access out there if that interests you all. And I figured I'll break that down a little bit as we saw Fulham fall from minus 108, which is basically split 16-cent juice at BetOnline if you're not a member there, or its sister site sportsbetting.ag. Hit me up at the real_G Warner and I'll get you a referral code. But we saw minus 108 turn to minus 104, back to minus 108. So not huge moves. Aston Villa playing in Europa League and pursuing that competition as a way to get into Champions League. Yes, they still have that opportunity in the Premier League, but they're not really in the title race like they were months ago. So, and this is a tough trip to London. So Fulham are really capable. They usually suffer from, we're not going to make Europe. We're not going to get relegated. We're not going to care much end of season. And we are getting late in the year and that might be happening. But I'll believe in Fulham, especially playing in front of their home crowd. I think the mail-it-ins are probably more likely to happen away from home than at home. So for me, I'm interested in Fulham as a pick'em. No insurance on Aston Villa coming into town. You could argue, and you could certainly question where their heads are at. Aston Villa is a really great team, but they had a pretty bad swoon in the middle of the season. The English Premier League and just really English marketplace hasn't really liked them across any English competition. They always love the English teams in the Europa League and stuff, but for me, Fulham at a pick'em is of interest to me, and I'll make a nomination for ultimate best bet coming end of show. But we'll move to the next game on the list, and that is a decent window, just 3 matches at 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. It used to be like 6, so I guess we're doing a lot on Sunday. But we'll start with Liverpool, 1-goal favorites to Crystal Palace. Almost all the juice on Liverpool right now, which we've seen. A ton of money coming in at Crystal Palace. I had them at plus 122 at BetOnline. That's fallen precipitously. Still won, but the juice has changed 25 cents. Total in this one is 3, just very heavily to under. So not a lot of belief in offense in this matchup. And betting on Crystal Palace, certainly as a road underdog, you certainly don't expect them to score much because they've sold almost all their offensive talent, at least their creators. They still have a striker there. But we'll see with lineups and such on Saturday morning here in the United States. But Liverpool, I mean, they've been awful all season. We're really lucky to win the Premier League last season. If you've been listening to this podcast, Betting the Pitch Apple Podcast and on Spotify, at the real_G Warner on YouTube, on Instagram, you've heard this forever. Sorry to be a broken record, but I've been right. And I don't know that I've made enough money against Liverpool, but I feel like even towards the end of last season, they were a great fade in Premier League as 1.5 goal favorites, barely winning by 1 all the time, but somehow doing it. With that said, Crystal Palace getting a full goal of insurance is of interest to me. Lean to under 3, though I think I like the side more than the total just because I don't really trust the Liverpool defense. I mean, yes, they changed mid-year to starting to defend for their lives, basically, after basically playing wing backs that had no interest in defending and no capability to do it. Probably like the smallest starting back line ever, with Virgil van Dijk, who's a giant, Konate, who's also a giant, but also a fast one, and then literal just absolute waste at wingback that just want to be crossing the box, I guess, or maybe putting on skill moves. That's already far too much time spent on this Liverpool number. So I'm interested in Crystal Palace and under. Next, we'll go to Wolves visiting Tottenham. Hosting Tottenham. Wolves a half a goal underdog right now at home, plus 131 on the juice. So likely 3/4 throughout the marketplace. Don't know why I bet online. I mean, I like that they're offering alternative lines, but I feel like they're being a little lazy on the other ones. So I'll have to talk to Dave Mason about that. But let's call Wolves a 3/4 goal underdog at home to Tottenham. Total in this one is 3, juice all the way to under minus 136. That's also ridiculous. So most likely there is a under 2 3/4 to go with that 3/4 goal underdog. And I would love to back Wolves because Tottenham are a joke, but Wolves are going down. And at a certain point, yes, when you're officially relegated, it seems to take some pressure off, but Wolves have known they'll be relegated for months now. So I don't know necessarily what to take. And even if you look at a Wolves starting lineup and it's full of talented players that you want to be out there, I mean, what are they playing for? Yes, they want to look good so they can retain their Premier League slot at another team, but like, do they care? Yes, they certainly care. Can they put anything on film that will actually matter? Maybe not. Are they playing all individually? Because playing as a team that's going down the championship is not really helpful either. So a lot of questions there. It's hard to bet on that, I'll say. I do like the amazing flaws that Tottenham have. They brought in a manager who is not really interested in defending at all, which is hilarious, but maybe it's better for them because it didn't go very well playing conservatively under Thomas Frank. So for me at this point, I mean, I'm interested in Wolves as a home underdog. I love home underdogs. Anyone who's listening to this podcast, patreon.com/realunderscoreGwarner, home underdogs are my thing. But I don't know there's enough here. I'll lean to the underdog, but that's probably the strongest thing we'll get to. Next in the same window, West Ham United hosting Everton. Everton currently a pick'em at plus 123, so that's climbed actually pretty significantly, likely to get a quarter goal underdog out there across the marketplace. Mark that and find some prices on that later. Total this one's 2.5, just 3 more cents than it was early in the week when I was watching it. And this is a great matchup of teams that Everton have done awesome this year. And former manager of West Ham United is now managing Everton. Kind of hilarious that he's chasing Europe while West Ham United is chasing just another season in the Premier League. But that's what happens when you care for what you wish for and the grass is always greener, et cetera, et cetera. West Ham as a home favorite probably deserve to be it because they're in relegation danger and are fighting like hell. Everton, though, are a better club, better team, have performed better this season, have better defense, and I like unders, especially with Everton, who are very pleased. They want to win this game 1-0, but they'll take a 0-0 as well. And I love that for unders and underdogs. That's literally what I do in this business. Next, we'll go to the nightcap on Saturday. Arsenal hosting Newcastle. Currently, Arsenal a 1-goal favorite with all the juice and then some. So that actually means there are 1.25 out there, which BetOnline is offering, actually. So that's good. So 1.25 minus 116. These numbers should get better closer to game time. Total in this one is... Click the button, which I didn't mean to do. We'll go back to it. And Arsenal, the total is 3, minus 112 to a minus 104 to over. So Newcastle haven't had a lot to play for a while. It's been a really disappointing Premier League season, probably because they put a lot of effort into the Champions League, which went okay, and they did advance, if I remember correctly. Arsenal now are fighting on 2 fronts to win the Premier League and Champions League. Didn't go so hot in the FA Cup or in that Carabao Cup final. But Arsenal have had real problems winning matches. So, and they have to win by 2. So I like the Eddie Howe side of things. I guess I lean to under as well. I would like to have a true belief that Newcastle are going to play great defense here and try to keep Arsenal out, because Arsenal is going to do that themselves. They're going to dominate possession. They're not going to give many chances, shots, all those sort of things. But Arsenal have been struggling to score goals, or at least more than 1 goal in a match. And I think that's certainly something of interest for such a big favorite that has Premier League pressure on their shoulders. To Monday, we have... because I guess we played some matches early this week because of FA Cup competition commitments, I'll guess. That's why we had some random matches this week, I guess. Yeah, there's a lot of blank game weeks in FPL if you play that. I've not paid attention this year. Wish I had, but c'est la vie. So I guess we'll go to the Monday. Just skipping a bunch of days, but we're there. And I guess we'll do it. So that is Manchester United hosting Brentford. Currently, Brentford are a half a goal underdog with all the juice on Manchester United. This has been, we've been seeing already move of 5 cents, not significant, but Manchester United certainly catches the money. Total this one is 3, and it is juiced slightly more to under. Brentford's not an under team. They are goal scorers. Manchester United have been, I guess, have resurfaced as an over team after really not being able to score any goals under Ruben Amorim, probably because he's wasting a position with a third center back, and that's why things went so poorly for Manchester United under him. From my perspective, I'm going to go in this matchup with Brentford. I do like the half a goal underdog. I thought they'd be a bigger dog. Probably moving towards 3/4 of a goal before kickoff on Monday. I'll be waiting to see that happen. And I think for the total, I lean to under 3. The push on 3 is essential / very important. All those sort of words. But there's been a lot of goals in Manchester United matches, and Brentford want to score. So they don't score high. They don't have high expected goal counts, but they find a way. More yawns. I don't want to pause because I don't want people to think the show's over, but here we are. That's what we're doing. And that's going to have, now I get to pick a best bet for this episode, and that's going to be Everton, West Ham United, under 2.5 goals, because I'll pay to see 3. It's pretty much where I'm sitting with any Everton match, I think, especially as an underdog against a team in a relegation battle. Now I'll move to Spanish La Liga. And as soon as I click on that, we will get there. And we did have a match week, or nada, as they call it, midweek. We'll see how that impacts lineups and stuff. There are some teams that are really equipped to handle that. Others in Spain, the poor ones, that are not. We'll start with one of those teams, or at least 2 of them, fighting relegation this season. Don't have a lot of depth. It's Alaves, Deportivo Alaves, at home in the Basque Country, hosting Mallorca. Currently, Alaves, a half a goal favorite. All the juice is on Mallorca, so it's a quarter goal is probably out there in the marketplace. Total in this one is 2.5, and it's used very heavily to under. Mallorca have been getting bigger totals since they replaced their manager, but I really think it's to me, it's really a club strategy to play the low scoring matches you possibly can, because they really can't score goals, and just get one of their big strikers / their only one to score a header or a penalty and have it be it. I don't love that idea as a road underdog, because matching if they fall behind, which happens on the road, is a big deal. But I do like under 2.5, and it's a early 7 a.m. Central Time start, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. So lunchtime in Spain, they don't do great. They stay up later than anybody. So I love that for maybe a little bit of a weaker atmosphere that might limit home goals. Next, we'll go to Getafe hosting Barcelona. Been caught in really bad scenarios in the past with Bordalas, the manager of entrenador of Getafe, trying to play a high line and seeing what happens. And Barcelona just picking that apart. Let's hope that doesn't happen here, because it's really hard to win bets when that occurs, especially against a Barcelona team that can pick you apart. However, Getafe, they have no goals in their team, so it makes +1, -130, which is enormous. Really hard for me to back, because I just don't think they can keep up with Barcelona / they can't. Under 2.5 is about what I made it. It's a little bit more juice to over. I'd love to see 2 3/4. I'd love to see 3, but we barely see totals of 2 with Getafe so far this season. So it's literally Jekyll and Hyde, or just opposites attract here. I think Getafe dictate the pace, tempo a little bit. They're going to beat the you-know-what out of Barcelona, and they are at home, which Spanish refs will allow them to do more than they probably should. So lean to under 2.5 in that matchup. To the next one, and I guess we do have some other numbers available. 3/4 of goal underdog is very juiced on the Barca side, and +1 on Getafe side is very juiced. So we got that, and under 2 3/4 is enormous. So juiced to under. So I'm not gonna even consider talking about that. We'll move next to another Catalonian side, and that's Girona visiting Valencia in the southeastern portion, both on the east side, I guess, but Valencia more in the south. Valencia currently half a goal favorite right now. All the juice is on Girona, so there's probably some quarter goals out there. Total this one's 2.5, and it's juiced pretty heavily. Excuse me. It's not very heavily juiced. It's 2 cents more juice to under than to over, and the number's way bigger than I made it. And I'm very interested in both. Girona, who I think have been playing a lot better as they've basically come from last in the Spanish La Liga to a good position of safety. And Valencia trying to regain the past, and they seem to still get a lot of respect, especially at Mestalla, their home stadium, where half the crowd boos or screams or whistles against the owner. To the last matchup on Saturday evening in the Madrid capital. We'll go with Atletico Madrid hosting Athletic Club Bilbao. Currently, Atleti, a half a goal favorite to Athletic, with all the juice right now. Total in this one is 2.5, and it's juiced more to the over. And the big question is who's playing this matchup, because Atleti basically rested all their players midweek after the Copa del Rey final this past weekend. It puts them in a much better position. I do feel like Athletic Club Bilbao is priced pretty competitively. Their manager's leaving end of season. They've had a horrible year. Who knows if Nico Williams is sticking around? I doubt that. Yeah, I don't think I want much to do with Athletic Club right here. Really, only thing I could probably lean to is under, and smaller than I made it. So probably one I skip unless we get some big time movement in that nightcap on Saturday. We'll move to Sunday. We'll start Rayo Vallecano hosting Real Sociedad. Also competed in Copa del Rey in Sevilla last weekend. Now they played a match midweek in La Liga, and now that they go to the suburbs of Madrid, or at least some portion of Madrid, to Vallecas to take on Rayo Vallecano. Rayo currently a pick'em with more juice on Real Sociedad. I expect them to be an underdog, but there's some respect, at least in the Spanish marketplace, for Rayo right now. Real Sociedad, our total is 2.5, just a little bit more to under. And Real Sociedad have been playing overs ever since Pellegrino Matarazzo, the American formerly of Stuttgart, and TSG Hoffenheim, the German Bundesliga. Ever since he came in, there's been some goals being scored. I would expect a reversion to the mean, though, especially because Rayo are going to defend the whole time. They have their eyes certainly set on European stuff, or have had it all season. We'll see how that impacts what the lineup looks like on Sunday morning. Move to the next slot. We'll go to Real Oviedo hosting Elche in a battle of newcomers to the Spanish La Liga, the Primera División. Both need a win here to try to find some way towards salvation. Currently, Elche are a big underdog, at least at a pick'em, plus 122. So probably some quarter goal underdogs out there. Total in this one's 2.5, just all the way to under. And I would expect this one to be a little bit lower as we get towards kickoff, but that's still okay for me. I want to play under here. So under 2.5 looks very interesting to me. That 9:15 Central Time, 10:15 Eastern Time start on Sunday. Go to Osasuna. They are in Pamplona. They're half a goal favorite to Sevilla. All the juices on Sevilla, so probably some quarter goals out there. Total in this one is 2.5, and it's just really incredibly to under. So 2.25 will likely be out there. I really like the hiring of Oscar Garcia Plaza. I've liked what he's done, especially at Alaves a couple seasons ago. I thought he got a raw deal of getting sacked in order to bring in the Scarf Mafia. Eduardo Coudet, who I don't know if he's even still around anymore, at least did do a great job at Alaves, did keep him in, but I think Garcia Plaza would have done the same. He plays very conservatively, so I like unders to bet unders with him, and this is no exception to that rule. In terms of the Sevilla side, I'm concerned about them scoring goals away from home, but I know they will defend, and they're trying to stay in the league, and that's an amazing situation for them, considering how many Europa League championships they have, and then all that sort of stuff. But it's been a long fall, and it's what happens when you have no money. And not many more La Liga matches. So the last two on this card, nothing actually look aheads for next week, though that'd be a much longer podcast if I went and did that. To the Sunday night matchup, we have Villarreal hosting Celta de Vigo. Villarreal, flameouts of Champions League, but awesome in Spanish La Liga all season. Played a really late game, I want to say on Thursday in La Liga this midweek set of matches. Celta total is 2.5. Juiced very heavily to over, so likely stands at 2.75 out there. But Celta's half a goal underdog have been really great to back this season. They've been incredibly stingy away from home at conceding goals. I'll lean to Celta and to the under 2.75. Would love to get to 3, but I doubt we will before kickoff on Sunday night in España. So last matchup on Monday, that is the 27th, my half birthday. Levante are a half a goal underdog with all the juice right now on the road at Espanyol. Total this one's 2.5, and it's juiced more to under. And that doesn't really reflect how these teams want to play. So Espanyol, they want to win games. They'll even play to try to go for it against Barcelona, their big city rival. they'll conservatively do it or pragmatically do it. Levante have not defended all season. That's probably why they're going back down to the Segunda División after promotion this season. But they're used to that as a yo-yo club anyway. In terms of where this number will go, I'm not really sure. I expect potentially some more under to come in just because Levante are fighting for their lives. Espanyol were at once trying to get into Europe. We'll see if they can end up sniffing around that type of spot. But Espanyol have been great at home for a couple seasons. How they stayed in La Liga last season when they got promoted. I'm not backing Levante on the road. I guess the only thing I really want to do or even consider is under, and I don't know how much I even want to do that. So let's find a best bet from Spain. And I think there are plenty of good options. We could go with the cellar dweller battle of relegation candidates of promoted teams. Go to Elche visiting Real Oviedo as under 2.5. That's where we'll go as a best bet on Sunday here in the Spanish top flight. Move now to Serie A in Italy, and we'll move over to that now. We did have one matchup today, but we'll start on Saturday with Parma hosting Pisa. Currently, Pisa, a quarter goal underdog. Wow. On the road. Juices split both ways, so clearly the marketplace. And one thing I'll tell you about Serie A, it is a scary place if you're betting against the market. So I'm not a favorites player, but Parma look very cheap. And at Pick'em, I don't think I'd be able to resist. Total is much smaller than I made it. So clearly there's not a lot of belief. Wonder how many strikers are missing for Parma. Pellegrini. Big dude. Let's see. Don't want to screw that name up because it really calls into question the sanctity of this podcast. But from a Parma perspective, Pellegrino, excuse me. Great forward, big body, a lot of problems, and Pisa can't score. So they are very well respected right now by the marketplace, and I don't really know why. I'm going to have to look into that and see what the Parma lineup is missing, but under 2 looks more interesting to me there because if Pisa are going to compete and they can't score goals, this market currently indicates that they will, but I don't trust it. So lean to under 2 and trying to figure out what the heck that underdog price is on Saturday morning. To the next matchup at noon Eastern time, 11 Central, Bologna hosting Roma. Currently Bologna, a quarter goal underdog at home, which is pretty much expected because they've been not loved by the marketplace for a long time now. Total is 2.25, juiced very heavily to over. And that reflects 2 big name teams that have played in Europe, specifically in the Europa League, and honestly played in Europa League. And Bologna somehow pulled the upset, knocked out Roma, my selection in a Champions League, Europa League pool, but that was probably dead as Italy basically fell on its face this whole season. Biggest interest for me is under 2.25 goals. It's very juiced right now to over, so we might get 2.5. But Roma have not scored a goal this season. Their defense has been much better than expected, so I'll lean to under there. Next, we'll go to Verona hosting Lecce. Currently the nightcap on Saturday. Verona, a pick'em with almost all the juice. Total in this one is 2, juice very heavily to under. And these are it's a matchup similar to what we just talked about in Spanish La Liga of relegation sides that are going to find or try to fight and also try to find a goal. And I don't know where they're going to find them because they're really bad offenses. So very interested in the under here. And I guess I lean to Verona as a pick'em just because I don't trust Lecce to score goals at all. And it's really hard to draw because getting a clean sheet in the road is not something that's easy. Verona have been, just like every year, selling what limited talent they had, and they're going to try to stay up. But it's been looking much more grim than recent seasons. Moving to the early kickoff, lunchtime, 5:30 Central Time, 6:30 Eastern Time here in the United States. I think 12:30 in Italia. Fiorentina hosting Sassuolo. Currently Fiorentina, a half a goal favorite right now. Almost all the juice is on Sassuolo, newly promoted away, who've been much better at this level. Total 2.5. It's juiced pretty heavily to over. And I lean to Sassuolo. I've liked how they've played this season. They've scored a lot more goals than I expected. Though that's really how their club was built a couple seasons ago. But then they go down to Serie B. You never know how much they change. Fiorentina, a surprise relegation threat for a lot of the season, have performed in Conference League, but that doesn't say anything. Lean to Sassuolo as a half goal underdog away from home. To the 8 o'clock window on Sunday morning, Genoa host Como. Currently Genoa, a half a goal underdog at home. All the juices on Como away, coming off of their Coppa Italia midweek. If there's ever a time to fade them, even the market loves them, and even CBS Sports here in the United States is saying that they play the best football in Italy, which I don't know if I agree with. But under 2.5 is certainly an interest for me in that matchup, just because Como's going to control the ball, but I don't know how many goals they're going to score. Genoa looks very interesting to me, are pretty cheap right now, though. So I want to see some more money come in on Como before kickoff on Sunday morning. To 11 a.m. or noon Eastern time, Torino, a 1.25 goal underdog at home to Inter Milan, as Inter are trying to lock up the Scudetto. Torino is a spot they could certainly slip, though it's not a long travel. It's a team that can't score goals, and they did smash them in the opener of the season, if I remember correctly. Total in this one's 2.75. She's very heavily to over. I'll be waiting to see a 3 pop, but I'm interested in that for sure. I guess I have some interest in the home underdog. It's bigger than I made it, but it's not really a love for me at this moment. We'll see how high it gets with Inter money surely coming in. To a big matchup that I went to a couple seasons ago, Milan hosting Juventus. Currently Milan a pick'em. So that is surprising. All the juice is on Juventus. That's also surprising. So let's get Milan to a 1/4 goal underdog, and then let's see who's missing from that lineup. Total is 2.5. Just more to the under. I like Milan, and I'm not afraid to let anybody know that. And just continues to baffle me how much the Italian marketers love Juventus. They've certainly won some road matches, more than I would expect. But to me, it's legitimately crazy because I'm so unimpressed with them. And still feel like they have a name that was that won like 9 titles in a row and then has not been heard from in a long time. Moving to 2 matches on Monday, we'll start with Cagliari hosting Atalanta. Currently Cagliari these are, I think, because of Coppa Italia matches that were played on Wednesday. But Cagliari 3/4 goal underdogs with all the juice on the home team. Total in this one is 2.5, and it's juice more to the under. I want to see what Atalanta's lineup is going to look like. Cagliari are known for their defense. They play it best at home, especially against big names. Last but not least, Lazio hosts Udinese. Currently, Udinese a 1/2 goal underdog away from home. All the juice is on them, so we might see a 1/4 before kickoff. Wouldn't be shocked about that, but that wouldn't really dissuade me because I want to be against Lazio, as I'm sure they're focused on Coppa Italia more than a mid-table finish in the Italian Serie A. Udinese, they are always fighting to stay in the league, so I'm interested in that. I have probably less interest in the total. It's lower than I made it. I don't know that I've had great success with Udinese because it's really hard to predict who's going to score goals. I just don't think Lazio will score many, and I think Udinese can. So I think I like the side more than the total. As for my best bet from the Italian Serie A, I'm going to go with Milan, a pick'em at home to Juventus, and we'll move now to French Ligue 1. And I guess if I'm wearing a Milan kit, Cristiano Pulisic, as they call him over there, I guess I might as well pick Milan and didn't even think about it. Now we'll go to Ligue 1 in France. We'll start with Lyon hosting Angers. Currently, Lyon, a 3/4 goal favorite. They have all the juice right now. So we'll see that climb to a 1 before kickoff at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning here in the United States, Central Time. Total's 2.5, juice very heavily to over. Angers are going to play a competitive game. I'm interested in backing them for sure. Probably less interested in the total because I'm worried that Lyon could score goals. That does make me also more concerned with the big underdog like Angers, but I want a +1, and I think we'll get it. Angers then hosts PSG in a battle of more heartbreaking type of scenarios. But Angers have been so good to me in mine that I'll look at that 1 3/4 goals and actually consider it. I probably won't play the side. I'll be more interested in playing the under, which is only 3.25, about what I made it. So it's a little lower than I'd want, but I don't hate the idea of fading PSG, especially with Champions League and other things that they're concerned about. They're going to win the Liga. They've been challenged, I think, more than expected by a team they didn't expect in Lens, who played on Friday. But Angers have been great at staying in the league, really from defense. And, if they hit +2, maybe I get a little bit more interested in backing them, though certainly only keeping PSG to 2 goals is a big task because they're so dominant. They're so much better than everyone they play. But I'll lean to under in that matchup as well. To the nightcap on Saturday, we have Toulouse, who've been playing a ton of big matches, had Coupe de France midweek. They are 1/2 goal underdog at home to Association Sportive de Monaco. Total in this one is 3, juice very heavily to under. So Toulouse I've been saying it for years. They play up to their competition. This is an opportunity for them to do that. They've not gotten a lot of respect from the marketplace. Big underdogs at home, which I do like. Don't want to play an under 3 because Monaco are built to score goals. And that's what they've literally wanted to do for ages and ages. To Sunday, Lorient hosting Strasbourg. And surprisingly, Lorient are 1/4 goal favorite. Did not have that one on my bingo card. Just split both ways, so no real tell of where it'll go. Certainly, marketplace has not loved Strasbourg for a while. Total in this one's 2 3/4. She's very heavily to under. I don't know if this Gary O'Neill, he's not the one I knew from the English Premier League, but I'll lean to under in this one. The Lorient have done a pretty good job scoring goals and are a bit of a surprising favorite, which does always make me look at Strasbourg, but I want to figure out why the heck that's the case. We'll move to the next window where a bunch of French matches are played. 10:15 Central Time, 11:15 Eastern Time. Bizarre, but French are bizarre. FC Paris, a half a goal underdog at home to Lille, who have completely turned around their French Ligue 1 campaign. Totals 2.5 in this one, just more to the over. Lean to home underdogs as that's what set you free. Lille have been really good after a slow start to the season, to say the least. I'm not sure how much I trust it, but I am interested in home underdogs. Totals 2.5. Don't really have a feel for it. It's about what I made it. Next, go to Rennes hosting Nantes. Currently, Rennes a 1.25 goal favorite right now, a little bit more juice, and that certainly tells you about Nantes, who've been all over my cards recently, but that's because their volatility and what they're priced has been incredible. Total this one's 2.75. She's pretty heavily to over. Might see a 3 here. Nantes are going to hold on for dear life. I think I need that full full under 3 to play under there. Lean to the side, but I need to have some more faith in Nantes that I don't currently have. FC Metz then visit Le Havre. Currently, Metz a 3/4 goal underdog. All the juice on Le Havre, likely Clement, the 1-goal favorite. Total this one is 2.5, and it's just a little bit more to under. Metz basically went from a goal scoring team early in the season and stopped scoring them. That's not a great setup when you're trying to stay in Ligue 1 after being promoted from Ligue 1, but they're used to getting relegated, so it's probably going to happen again. Le Havre also fighting, so they're looking like a really big underdog. Honestly, SMS, and they'll probably want to take Le Havre down with them. The spread's bigger than I made it. Would love to get a full +1 of insurance, so I'll lean and look towards that matchup before the last match of the day with a derby in the Côte d'Azur. Currently, Marseille a 1.25 goal favorite at home to Nice, who did play Coupe de France midweek, but that is embarrassing to see how big that number is. Total in this one is 3.25, and it's just slightly more to the under. Nice are basically on just my do not call list. Number, I lean towards it as the spread on Nice because it's half a goal bigger than I made it. Yes, very juiced, but still, that's saying something. For my ultimate best bet from Ligue 1 in France, let's go with, as tempting it is to play Angers under. I think PSG unders are terrifying. Let's go Le Havre Metz under 2.5 goals in that big relegation battle on Sunday morning. Last but not least, we'll get to the German Bundesliga. We'll start in the Saturday big onslaught of matches. They've actually maintained that this season at 3:30 local time in Germany, at least based on when I went in the fall, way back when, to a Dortmund Schalke 04 match. And I'm sure you've seen that on my timeline if you've been following along. We'll start in this matchup with Augsburg hosting Eintracht Frankfurt. Currently on... Okay, making sure I'm not looking at the wrong date. Nope, we are. We're good. Augsburg are a pick'em at home. Almost all the juices on Eintracht, who have been a lot better under their third manager of the season. I guess it's hard to count when you have a caretaker, all that sort of stuff. But Augsburg have been okay. I don't trust them to score enough goals to want to play as a pick'em. So I'll wait to see if they move to a quarter goal underdog at home like those. Lean to under 3, which looks like it might get to 3.25 before kickoff. So we'll wait and see on that one as well. SC Heidenheim then take on SC St. Pauli in a big battle of relegation sides. I don't know if they came up together. I think Heidenheim have been in the league longer, somehow qualified for Conference League, but they've been last and kind of drifting away from the rest of the field for a long time. I've had some big matchups lately with Union Berlin at home, for example, but here's another big one with FC St. Pauli. Currently, Heidenheim are quarter goal favorite at home. All the juice is on St. Pauli, and I don't expect them to score goals. So under 2.5 looks interesting to me there. It's smaller than the Heidenheim totals have been all season because their defense has been horrible. But I'll lean to St. Pauli, and I'll lean to under there. Would love to get a little bit more on the St. Pauli side. It's probably not enough for me, but I'll lean to under 2.5, as I don't think we see goals in that matchup, as you don't see them in most St. Pauli matches. FC Köln, then also fighting relegation, have replaced their manager. They got a I guess, lesser derby with Bayer Leverkusen. More important to Leverkusen is the Köln, and that's not great as the home underdog. Köln, half a goal underdog at home, a little bit more juice on the home team. Total is 3, just very heavily to over right now. It's a tough situation because Köln have been a lot more conservative than the new manager. We'll see if that's worth it or how that pans out and if they stay in the league, because they're also used to getting relegated a lot. Just came up this season. Wouldn't be shocked to see them go back down. Leverkusen can score goals, but they've been through a gauntlet this season with so many player moves, losses, sales, all those sort of things, and ads, which are not easy either. I'll lean to the under 3. Probably want more than that, but I'll put it on my list as an option. VfL Wolfsburg then take on or host Borussia Mönchengladbach. Currently, Wolfsburg a quarter goal favorite at home with more juice on the road team. Gladbach were not good to start the season, mellowed everybody, and then look like they're in panic mode again. Total this one is 3, just very heavily to under, and I think we see a relegation scrap for every inch on this pitch. So like the quarter goal underdog, like under 3 even more. Mainz 05 then hosts Bayern München. Currently Mainz a 3 quarter goal underdog at home, which I think reflects Bayern München playing in Champions League midweek, or maybe it was Fischer just being God. Total is 3.5 this one. She's very heavily to under. I don't know how you can play unders with Bayern München. I guess I lean that way, but I'm more interested in Mainz as the underdog at home. Would love to get a +1. I'll be waiting for that. It probably will be out there, and I expect it will show up. HSV. However, Hamburg is pronounced HSV, which is an awkward thing to say in English, but regardless. Hamburg are 3 quarter goal underdogs to TSG Hoffenheim, who have been slumping a little bit after a really awesome start to their season and some dreams for Champions League, which players have been careful not to say in post-game interviews, but we'll see what happens. Currently, Hoffenheim a 3 quarter goal favorite on the road Hamburg against a really big crowd. That's going to be really hard for me to resist. They're certainly better Hoffenheim that is away from home because they don't have a home field advantage. But wow, I think I will be playing Hamburg here. Total is 3.25, just very heavily to under. And I think I don't hate the idea of this being a low-scoring matchup, which also plays into the side. So give me Hamburg and give me under. To Sunday, we have 2 matches. We have VfL Stuttgart coming off of their DFB Pokal semifinal. They are a 1-goal favorite at home to Werder Bremen, who are fighting relegation on their 3rd manager of the season. Total's 3.25 in this one, just more to the over, and it probably should be based on Stuttgart and how their goal scoring looks. But I want to see what that lineup looks like, so I'm interested in Werder Bremen as a +1 underdog, and honestly, it correlates because they're not scoring goals to under 3.25. Last but not least, Borussia Dortmund hosting Sports Club Freiburg. Currently, Dortmund a 1.5 goal favorite. Wow, enormous, but also reflects really how poorly Freiburg have done this season, but really how they do against the really big clubs in Germany. Total in this one is 3, just very heavily to over. I think I'm more interested in under than the side, though the side is way bigger than I made it. I don't know. I got to do a lot of thinking and see what Freiburg's going to put out there because it doesn't look great, especially going on the road to Borussia Park, the Signal Iduna Park, or what they call it now. Lean to, I guess, under, but more to the side there because it is just enormous versus what I made it. From ultimate best bet on this episode, let's go with HSV Hamburg. We'll take that 3 quarter goal underdog at home from TSG Hoffenheim. Now, do it for this episode. Any of you with me late night, I appreciate that. Thanks for coming in. Got a couple of you out there, so I appreciate that. We're super late. I'm going to download the post as always, but we'll see how that goes. And hopefully that works out for everybody. But to recap, we can be found by the Pitch Apple Podcast and on Spotify at @thereal_G Warner on YouTube or on Instagram if you want the shorter content, or you get the full version on YouTube. And thanks for all the new subscribers there. Patreon subscribers, patreon.com/@thereal_G Warner. Best spot to get all my plays, leans, write-ups across Stanley Cup playoffs, Major League Baseball, soccer as we're wrapping this season up. And of course, we'll be doing a lot of content exclusive to patreon.com for the World Cup. So get ready for that. If you're not with me already, join me then. In terms of best bets on this episode, let's go and I'll highlight them from the various countries we covered, all 5, and then I'll get you a best bet and we'll sign this off because it's 1:34 a.m. and I got plenty of baseball prep to do tonight before I go to sleep. From the English Premier League, I like Everton under 2.5 goals. In La Liga in Spain, I like Elche under 2.5 goals. In Serie A in Italy, I like AC Milan, a pick'em. In Ligue 1 in France, I like FC Metz under 2.5 goals. In the German Bundesliga, I like HSV Hamburg +3/4 of a goal at home against TSG Hoffenheim. But for the ultimate best bet on this episode, it's not just I'm wearing it. Let's go Milan, a pick'em. Very surprise number at home against Juventus. I'll take it. Worst case, hopefully there's a push rather than losing the matchup. But I think it's a really nice chance to get a home draw at worst to get your money back, but then potentially get a winner and honestly get paid to do it. That'll do it for this episode. Thank you for following, subscriing, all those sort of things at @thereal_G Warner across all social media platforms. And I'll see you all very, very soon on the next episode of Betting the Pitch.